First sign for New York City.
Keep left to continue on I-80 East.
New York, bitch. So she's got a mic, she's got a ring light, she's got a non-vlog video. I got some tea. We're gonna talk about some tea. So yes, this is my first non-vlog YouTube video, and I did just film a bunch of self-tapes, so sorry if I seem fatigued, and also sorry if I'm awkward talking to the camera. So I thought it would be really fun for my own reflection purposes, as well as everyone on Instagram said they were interested in watching it as well. A Californian's perspective on New York City. I just came up on my 2-year anniversary of living in the city, and it's been enlightening. It feels like 3 years lightweight because the first apartment we lived in, it felt like we lived there for 2 years. Me, living in California my whole life, I have lived in the Bay and I have lived in the LA area. I went to school in Riverside, but like there's not anything to do in Riverside, so we were constantly in LA, Hollywood, San Diego, whatever, you name it, it's all down there, right? California girl. And so me thinking like liberal coastal city. How different could it be? Oakland's got artists. Like, you probably don't have as many tech bros. You got finance bros. So I was thinking it would be very similar to California. Could not be further from the truth. California is an entirely different vibe. And one of my first jobs here, everyone just kept telling me like what I would say certain things or whatever. They were like, that's so California of you. And I thought it was a funny joke, but I also was like, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. Oh, I know what it means now, baby. It's very like, I don't know, I want to say like optimistic and laid back maybe. So I might have some hot takes here. Okay, that's why I caveated that this is from a California's perspective. New Yorkers have no chill, you guys. And I've been told by New Yorkers that I'm wrong, but they don't have the kind of chill they're not that like Californians have. You know what I mean? Like it's just a different pace. And the Bay Area, like, you know, I thought people walked fast. I thought traffic was bad. I thought a lot of things. It's not true. It's not true. California traffic is bad, but New York traffic, people don't even zipper. You have to just like drive like you're in a video game, which can be fun sometimes because I'm a good driver and I like driving and it's kind of crazy, but it can also be really, really, really fucking stressful because people just like straight up don't let you in. You got to fight for your life. There's no rules on the road out here. It's triple parking. It's you do whatever the fuck you want. You pray you don't get a ticket. Do you even pray? You don't even really care because you're just going to do whatever you want. And that's kind of the vibe out here. Yeah, we lived in the Heights first time. I loved it. I learned a lot through apartment hunting, which we can talk more about. But basically, our first apartment was a pre-war 5th floor walk-up, which like I don't mind stairs, but 5 floors, like 4 would probably be my max. We live on the 3rd floor right now. But like 5 stairs after like working a double or like honestly after anything, trying to do laundry, girl, it was hard. It was hard some days. It was hard a lot of days. And my family came to visit, you know what I mean? Like their suitcases and stuff. Like it just was tough. I mean, it was fine. So pre-war building, the problem with our pre-war building was like, it was really cute. It had a lot of cute details and stuff, but there was no, like it wasn't well maintained. And like our super, like I'm sure is very common in certain New York buildings, was just like a very old man and just him. And he had to do all the trashes and everything and was not very reachable by phone and text. It like just kind of took forever to get anything done. I'm sure it was owned by a big management company. They didn't really give a shit. He didn't really give a shit. So like we did have a mouse that we had to take care of ourselves. I basically like duct taped. I duct taped so many cracks and crevices in that apartment, but it took care of the issues. And we had like red ants, even though we were on the 5th floor. They were like really gnarly. I would say the worst part of our apartment was just like, it wasn't secured. Like the windows were so thin and like so old that like any and all noise came through. And like we lived on a park, like on the side, like 5 stories up, and then the park went down. So anyone that was in the park, it like echoed up onto the rocks, onto our walls. And then the street was lined with benches. And we also learned this, like in New York, you have small apartments and stuff. So people live outside, like outside. People are outside and it's like their backyard. So like birthday parties, barbecues, kickbacks, like whatever you name, it's on the street, which is cool until it's 3 a.m. and I got to open the cafe the next day and you can hear everything because our windows are paper thin and they don't even close. Like the window would be closed in our bedroom, but you would like see the curtain moving because there was a breeze coming through, like that kind of vibe. And it got so cold. It got so cold. We smelled all the smells. We heard all the sounds. There was like a demon child that like screamed across the hall from us. Bless their neighbor. They weren't even our direct neighbor. And yeah, I think the really tough part was when winter came and like it just, our heat, they like never turned it on, which was illegal. But like it would have to get so cold and so far into the winter season before they turned it on. It was kind of a nightmare. It was like really, really hard because you're covered up in blankets and stuff. So then when you go outside, you don't even have like a base level of warm, which makes a huge difference. I mean, living in this place is incredible. But yeah, there was a lot of learning experiences in the first apartment. And I think California, like, I'm sure there are places that have issues and stuff, but I just feel like it's just like a different level because like first of all the houses and stuff aren't that old, which is a really cool part of being on the East Coast is like all of the history and old buildings and stuff. Like in California, our oldest buildings are like the missions that you go visit, which is cool but just like different, you know, the ghosts are different out here. Definitely building issues different. Also California doesn't get that cold, so like even in my place in Richmond that got cold because our heat wasn't great, I was never like freezing, you know what I mean? Okay, so I will say I love the culture and community here. It's really wonderful. I kind of love that everyone lives outside, and I love that you can just do your own thing and vibe and no one's gonna mess with you. Like I feel like even the unhoused folks like have a level of respect for your privacy that like in California, like San Francisco especially and Berkeley, like isn't there. There is something to be said about being able to like be alone in public in New York because people don't have the opportunity to be alone. Like in California, I would be driving to and from work. And so I'd have that like detox time in my car, like relaxation, singing along, whatever. Like you have that time to yourself. In New York, you're just on the train and everyone kind of like gets that. So like it is stressful because you're still in public, you're not by yourself. But I mean, at least people respect that fact. So like, you know, you could be crying in New York and as an introvert, I'm like, yeah, don't ask me what's wrong. So that's a huge difference. And I love that everyone can just like live their lives and do them. Like, especially one of my favorite things about New York is the fashion. Like, yes, people look good and like you go out in Soho and people look fashion, but I just love that you're able to like wear whatever you want, express yourself however you want. And like, it's okay here. It's normal. Like some of the outfits that aren't even that crazy that I would just like look nice or look dressed up or look whatever, dress up for something, going somewhere in California and everyone looks at you like, where the hell are they going? Like, you know what I mean? Like kind of that low level of judgment. In New York, people don't people don't care. They don't care what you're doing. They don't care what you're doing. So that's kind of nice. like freedom in that, I guess. And obviously what I love the most as an actor is like the opportunities here. Like I work at Masquerade. That's freaking amazing. I'm sure there are cool things you could do in California, but I can't work at Andrew Lloyd Webber's Immersive Phantom of the Opera in California. Hello? And have the community I have there. Like, I love that so much. I love that I can wake up on a Wednesday morning, go rush tickets, and get $40 to go see a Broadway show that night. I love that. I love being able to see all the Broadway shows. Like, that will never get old to me. There's some stuff here in New York. Like, if I wanted to go salsa dancing on a Wednesday night under the stars in Bryant Park, I could just roll up and do that for free. And I know there's stuff like that in California, but you know what I mean? Like, there is stuff specific to New York that can't be found anywhere else. And I love that. And that's a big part of why I love living here. So as far as pricing goes, I would say, you know, it's funny being from somewhere like New York or San Francisco, like when you travel, like when we went to Greece and everyone was like, oh, Greece is so expensive. It's such an expensive place to travel. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because those are the cheaper prices. Like I'm paying San Francisco, New York, most expensive prices in the world every single day. So anytime I travel anywhere, it's pretty amazing. So it's expensive, like in that sense. But I would say like in California, if you're paying comparable rent, like if you're paying, I don't know, whatever, $3,000 for a 1-bedroom or something, like you're gonna have a nicer apartment than you would in New York. Like the rent prices may be the same, but you're gonna get more bang for your buck in California, in my experience. Okay, so my quick blip on New Yorkers having no chill. I mean, the pace that you walk at kind of makes sense because you walk everywhere, and I love the walkability. That's like another one of my favorite things, which I had in Richmond, but it was like a small town vibe. But here you can walk anywhere, and I love that. But so I understand the walking pace and that stuff. Like, I get that. You fall into the, like, tourists being slow, hate walking through Times Square. I understand all that. I'm talking about... Okay, sorry. My phone died, so it needs to charge, which means I can't plug in the microphone. So we're going to go mic-free for a hot sec, and then we can compare. Okay. Now I don't have the crutch. Now I don't have a crutch, and I'm nervous. What was I saying? Oh, also the dishwasher's running. I'm so sorry. Oh, yes. So I take it back. It's not that I don't think New Yorkers have any chill. I think the people that are operating in New York have no chill. So maybe that's not New Yorkers. Maybe that's everybody else. But I worked at a bagel shop for a few months. It was super toxic. I had to leave and it paid like nothing. And sorry, that just made me think. There's just like the people I worked at there. I think this is true of everywhere, but I found it to be true of New York because it's so hard to live here. Like, there's a reason that people say, like, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And I feel like some of the folks who grew up here are just used to a standard of living. Like, living in the most expensive city and making minimum wage is fucking crazy. And it's just unfortunate that some people, you know, not that you should, like, leave where you grew up or whatever, but, like, it's just... I think not everyone knows that there's a standard of living, that they're used to a certain standard of living and they don't know that there's better. And I think without travel, without leaving home, right, which not everyone can do, that's a privilege. But like without that, you just like accept what is. And I digress. Eye-opening experiences. Yes, so I worked at a bagel shop briefly, and New Yorkers don't mess around when it comes to their bagels, okay? When I say that they have no chill, this is what I mean, is that you're paying a couple bucks for a bagel, you're not even really waiting in line, you really just walk right up to me, and you can't even wait for your card, you're like tap to pay to register. That's how no chill, no patience people are here. It's like they can't even wait for their card to be read by the reader. They walk away before it registers. Like, that's how little patience people have. And, like, that's a good example, you know? Personal experience, hot take. Let me know what you think. But yeah, like, sitting in traffic in California, if you're from the Bay, like that cross where like if you're going to San Francisco, you have to come from this side of the freeway to go this way. If you're going to Berkeley, it's like the Berkeley interchange, getting it into Oakland, and it's like a shit show all the time. I went home and I was driving a car through that interchange during peak traffic hours, and I was sitting there with such a relaxed nervous system. Like, wow, this is nothing. Like, this is so calm compared to New York traffic. So, if that tells you anything, if you're from the Bay Area. Perspective. On the money thing, bang for your buck, it's like, yes, it's just as expensive both places, but like, for example, I could get a Lyft in San Francisco to take me somewhere for like $7 to $15, maybe $25. If you're getting a Lyft anywhere in New York, you're probably paying $40, $50, $100 to take a Lyft home from work, Uber, whatever, like cabs. The transportation piece is expensive out here. And tolls, on that note, like I thought like them raising the Bay Bridge like to $7.50, $8. No. There's a reason people don't leave Manhattan to go into Jersey. The tolls, I think it was like something like $15 or $17, $14, way above $7 to cross like the Golden Gate Bridge. No, girl, the tolls out here go crazy, and with congestion pricing, like even just driving lower into Manhattan, you're getting charged a toll. Nonsense. One thing, driving in California, you do have to have a car, like way more in California than you do here. So I do love the public transportation is actually usable here. Because again, if you're from California, BART in the Bay Area, like it's just not super reliable. Like when the subways are like 10 minutes apart, people are like, oh, I had to wait forever for a train. BART, you're waiting 20, 30 minutes, an hour sometimes for a train, especially at night. Subways go all night here, so public transportation wise, much better. Sorry. Yeah, so what? Yes. Oh, also love, like California, yes, you can travel from Northern Cal to like NorCal, SoCal, 6 hours if you're speeding, which you're speeding on the 5. But over here, you can go to so many different states. I learned this just on my road trip through. Like, I drove through so many different states in the span of, like, such a small time. Like, in California, maybe you're driving to Washington. Really, you're probably just driving to Nevada or to somewhere else in California. Out here, it's really nice because Drew's family's out here, and we can drive up to New York. We can drive up to Boston, New Hampshire, Cape Cod, like, all these places within like less than the time that it would take me to drive from like San Francisco to LA. So that's pretty cool. I know that's like an East Coast thing because it took forever. Driving through Texas took, yeah, so the East Coast, West Coast, the vibes are just different, you know what I mean? Like, people just walk fast here. I know Drew and his siblings, like, I thought it was just because Drew had long legs. No. His youngest sibling, small legs. Speed racer. So there's a lot of differences that are just like East West Coast also. I will say one thing about being from California, I've been told can be mean because I'm just very direct. I'm a direct person. I say what I mean. I don't like the fluffy around the LA kills me. LA vibe kills me. Nobody says what they mean. Out here, at least that's like respected. Just kind of like accepted as normal. Okay, we're back to the mic. The dishwasher's still on, so sorry about that. A really important topic for me, and I really genuinely think this is a big reason why I can't see New York as my forever home, is the beaches out here are different. I hate to say it, guys. They're dirty. Even the clean ones, the ones that everyone recommends to me, are dirty. I guess if you don't know any different, it's fine, and they totally work. And living here for a few years, like, I need to be near water. I've never felt so landlocked in my life than when I lived on an island called Manhattan. It's crazy. And, like, I know I'm privileged because I come from the Bay Area, but, like, I need the ocean. I need the water. And out here, It's fine. What I really love is that you can take the ferry to the beach. That's been a new thing that we unlocked last summer, which was really freaking cool. So we just take the ferry. You can take it to Coney Island, which I plan on doing this summer. But you can also take it all the way to Far Rockaway, which is what we were doing. We were doing like Beach Mondays, which was really awesome. And so that was cool. So like you're already outside, you sit on the roof, you could bring a cooler or whatever. That's really cool. $4, $5. But the beaches themselves are just, they are a little bit dirtier. The water's a little different out here. I know obviously it's a different ocean, but it just doesn't hit the same. You know what I mean? The climate's different and there's still like smog, and it's also just like the people, again, it's like the culture, right? So people just be loud and be smoking even on the beach. And like people do in California, but it's a different vibe. It's a different energy. Again, out here, people are just living their lives and just being as loud as they want to be because you have to, because everyone's loud in New York. So it's like, well, I want to be loud too, you know, but it's just not it. And I don't think I could live somewhere where the beaches aren't it long term, you know? That's important to me. Okay, I have my biggest gripe, I do want to say. And besides the beaches, this is like the real reason why I could never live here forever. I'm a very sensitive to smell, and maybe not sound so much, but smell person, especially when it comes to smoke, you guys. And the world we're living in, where everyone's fucking vaping everywhere all the time. Like, first of all, the weed smells nasty here. It smells gross. Like, why would you put that? Why would you smoke that? But regardless, people are so loud in public. Speakers on public, constantly on their phone. You're on the phone, on the train. You're on the phone, online. They say online here, by the way. Online. You stand online. Is that an East Coast thing? We stand in line in California. You know what I mean? In line. But the noise pollution is crazy. Again, at the beach, at the parks and stuff as well. Like, everyone's always on their phone. Everyone just speaks at a louder volume. Everyone's yelling out their window in the morning, even though we have thick windows here. This girl was going on a whole rant at 8 a.m. this morning. We had to listen to it for an hour. No sleep for me. You know, it's just like everyone has to live their life because everyone is living their lives amongst each other. But then it just kind of like the like individualistness, the individual, like, okay. So, you know, like they say like Asian countries are like collective countries and like we're an individualistic culture. It's very, very apparent in New York. Like the community is out for itself. And that's pretty brutal for me. Like, even just walking down the street, it's just like people will just like run into you instead of like collaborating and like, you know, and on the train and stuff, like, you know, just not even getting up for like someone who looks like they can barely stand, whether it's like an old woman or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it feels like a lot less considerate. And in the long term, it gets to me mentally. And a big part of that is the smoking. Like when I went to Germany, I was like, oh, the worst part about Germany was that everyone smokes everywhere and you're always smelling smoke and it just drives me insane. And here it's worse. New York City, like, and people are walking, so you're like following someone 3 blocks and they're smoking a cigarette in front of you, you know, unless you want to like haul ass and get in front of them, which I do. I will do that. But like everyone just smokes everywhere and it's too much for me. And it's like really, really bad because it's in my apartment. So there's like a bench right below our window over here and people just sit and smoke on it all day long. Our neighbors are smoking inside their apartment. It comes through the hallway, it comes through the vents. I just feel like I'm always smelling smoke. And like to a certain extent, people, I gotta live their lives or whatever, but it gets to me. This is the thing that gets to me the most, you guys. I feel like this video is, well, obviously it's my opinion, but I feel like it's leaning towards a negative and that wasn't my intention. But I love it here. And I think I'm just very lucky to come from a really great place. Like even the diversity, like obviously the Bay Area is very diverse, but it feels collective, if that makes sense. Like I feel like New York, and probably just because the roots go so deep and there's so much history out here, even more so, obviously, but like it just feels really segregated, even so. Like, obviously, there's people from all over the world, and when a white person's speaking, you can't just assume that it's going to be English, like, which is really cool, I think. But it doesn't feel as diverse. Like, you go to certain neighborhoods, and it's just going to be a certain ethnicity, and like that's fine. But it does feel like highly segregated still. Which is fine. It's just a different vibe, I guess. I don't know. There's something to be said about like keeping the culture strong in your neighborhood. I do love that as well. But it's just different. That's just another thing. But I really didn't want this video to be like so negative. So I do want to say, like, I do love New York City. The energy is vibrant. There are so many different people. I feel like people, when you're making community and stuff, people are just down to explore more. Maybe it's just like the type of person that moves here that's like down. But I feel like in California, I mean, some people just get complacent and it's like hard to get people to come outside. And I found that that's less so in New York. I know there's like the whole like long distance thing from like getting your friend that lives in Brooklyn to come out in Manhattan. That can be a little tricky. But generally people are down, which I love as a little adventurer myself. Don't get me wrong, I love staying home too. And we're in a really good apartment now. I mean, we have a balcony, we have AC, we had heat all winter. Like, it's game changing, like living, especially in a city that's so crazy and you're on all the time. Like, finding a good home base, I think, will make or break your experience in New York City, in my opinion. This whole video is my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I had my off-Broadway debut here already. Like, I love it here. I think the biggest thing for me is, like, I always knew since I took that photography trip that I wanted to live here. And I'm 33 now, and I never have to wonder what if. You know what I mean? Like, I did it. I did it for me. And it's really amazing. And, like, even if you hated it here, like, and you moved back immediately or whatever, like, at least you know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a big person of, like, no regrets. So that's the most important thing for me. And I'm living. And yes, so in conclusion, I love New York City. It is for a very specific kind of person who wants to live here and stay here. And if you got goals, it can serve them up to you. If you want to be a part of hustle culture, you'll fit right in. If you want to have some chill, some vibes, some home time, you might struggle a little bit on that front. And I will say, I'm very privileged because I think I grew up in one of the best places in the world. California, LA, NorCal, either way, like, I feel lucky that I have that chill in me, ingrained in me. And I'm really glad I'm experiencing it here. And I'm going to have my beach Mondays. And I'm going to go see every Broadway show that I want to possibly see that I can afford until I leave. And I do love it here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I didn't know I could yap like this to the camera for so freaking long. Wow. Well, fiend.